Hey guys, and welcome to another film review video. This time it's Ilford FP4 125, and I'm going to show you some of the photos that I've been taking with it and tell you what I think about them. So this one was taken in Brighton in England, and we went down some back alleys and just found we found this really cool area with loads of graffiti, and I couldn't not photograph it. It was really cool in colour as well, but I didn't have any colour film or my digital camera or anything like that, so I just had one roll of film to take. This was the first time I used the processing machine that we have, and it left loads and loads of lines down the photo, and well, actually it's the same down the whole roll of film, but the reason I included this photo in the video was to show that this film is really high contrast film, and it's good for that sort of thing. Again, some more graffiti. This one looks like it's by Banksy, I'm not too sure, but it's that kind of style, so maybe it was him, I don't know. But I still think it's a nice shot. The framing's a bit weird, but I had to be quite fast taking the photo because there were people walking past and I wanted to get them in the photo. Here's a guy in Colchester. He sells chili on, sort of like chili sauces on the market stall on Saturday. I bought his chili, it was quite nice, and I thought I would like to take a photo of him. He had a really nice beard as well. It was a good beard. But it is really backlit, which is bad. But I still managed to recover some sort of detail in the highlights there. That on the darkroom print, that was just completely white, the background. Again, it's a shame about the machine leaving the lines down. I never used the machine again after this roll of film. I always do it by hand now. But this is in Colchester in England, and it was just a really nice old Citroen van. These are some shoes that were hanging up in Brighton. It is a real shame about the lines again, but it's quite a sort of surreal photo in a way, I suppose. These are just some friends sitting on a bench in Colchester, and that's basically the same place from a different angle. This is back in Brighton again, and I'm changing a lot between places. So this is a silhouette walking through the street. Actually, this is where the graffiti was in the first photo. I climbed a volcano in France, and I took some photos. Unfortunately, the developer was oxidized, so it didn't work as well. So these photos were actually really underdeveloped, but I sort of managed to recover them. They're not great, but I do really like the photos, that's why I put them in a video. This one, it's some from that roll of film as well, but it's still a really nice photo, I think. And this is a town in France. That's my sister and her friend playing on the rocks. And here's some that I took in the woods near me, just to sort of show off what the film can do. It's not an amazingly high resolution film. I'm used to using like Ilford Delta, which is a really high resolution professional grade film. This isn't a professional grade film, but there's no reason not to use it, even for professionals. I just like the kind of patterns on this tree trunk. It kind of looks like a river's going down it in a way. This one is just a silhouette, but it still managed to actually hold some detail on the tree there. I thought that would have been completely black the whole way down, but it wasn't. It's good, it kept it. This is a pond in the woods near where I live, and I thought it looked really creepy. I'm actually doing a horror film shoot at the moment, and I think I'm going to do a shoot here. It kind of looks like that place on Pirates of the Caribbean, when I can't remember which one, the ones with the mermaids, where they leave the mermaids by the trees in the water to die, basically. That's what it reminds me of. But yeah, anyway, the film keeps lots of details in the highlights and the shadows. It's definitely got a good tonal range. This one, I didn't quite get the focus, but it is still quite, it's alright. Most of these, by the way, were shot wide open, so I'm not going to get the sharpest results from that. But that doesn't mean that the film doesn't pick up sharpness. Again, I do really like the tones that the film brings out. It's as I said, it's high contrast. The blacks are black and the whites are whites, but it still manages to keep detail in the midtones, which is, to be honest, is exactly what you want from a film. And there's a bird it was a robin, I think, that I tried to take a photo of. It wasn't actually that shy. This is cropped. I didn't manage to get it that close, but not by much, only by a bit. I didn't think this one will come out because I was shooting straight into bright clouds, and I sort of just held my meter up and hoped for the best, really. But it did come out, still did come out. However, as I said, in some photos it's really good, but in others it's not a grainy film, but it just lacks resolution, I think. Putting the hairs and dust aside in this one, which kind of takes away from the photo anyway, and something else happened to the photo. I mean, it's really dark in the corner and really bright in the other corner. I can't blame the film for that. That's something, I don't know what happened, but that happened. It's not sharpness, but I think it's just resolution. It just doesn't quite pick up everything that other films could. But then you go back to photos like these, and there's incredible sharpness on his jumper and loads and loads of detail in there. Definitely the quality of light does make a difference, but that makes a difference to all films. But the more light you have, the better. Obviously it's a low ISO film and all that as well. It does seem to like bright sunlight. So overall, my verdict would be that it's a really, really high contrast film, great tones and still a great tonal range. Picks up lots of detail if there's enough light, and I will be continuing to buy this film. It's slightly cheaper than some other films. It's definitely in my sort of group of favourite films. And by the way, I rate it at ISO 100, not 125. It's not that much of a difference, but it does make the difference. And you could probably even expose it at ISO 50 or something as low as that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another video.